Amazon herb man, maybe. Amazon herb man. So, he started that and says that he survived on a diet of herbs such as linseed, goji berry, wild ginseng, and he shu wu, and gotu kola, and rice wine. And it says at age of 71, he joined the Chinese army as a teacher of martial arts at age 71. Can you imagine? Now this is the part I just love. I mean, to think that one person could do this. He was much loved and in his community. He was married 23 times and fathered over 200 children. I mean, can you imagine? That's what kept him alive. Yeah, some people think we done it too, I don't know. But anyway, he was basically, a very amazing man, to say the least. A lot of kids, lots of wives, healthy, martial arts teacher. But he talks about this. He said that, he felt that Qigong exercises and dietary recommendations helped him expand his lifespan, his life expectancy, let's say. And of course, Qigong, I'm thrilled to say that we're going to have a Qigong class starting here in September, which I'm really excited about. And this gal is really, really, really good. And so I think that that's great for longevity. They also, and I think that one thing, and I know many of you, I'm preaching to the choir here, but as far as the diet, now this was a primarily, I think, vegetarian diet, but there was no processed foods. There was, just lots of good healthy herbs and berries and good fresh healthy food and exercise and fresh air. And I know that what's happening now, what I've really noticed is that we've gotten away from, this past weekend, Ellen and I were in Charlotte at a Tom Johnson Camping World. I don't know, has anyone ever been there? Don't go. It's first of all, it's in, not in Charlotte, it's in Concord. And anyway, we have an RV and we took it up there, and they have right behind, first of all, this place is on like 50 or 60 acres, it's enormous. And then they have just campers everywhere. And then you go up the top of the hill, and guess what's there? The Charlotte Speedway and a dirt track. I mean, and it's big. I mean, it's huge. I can't even explain it. This place is just like, you get there, and so we got these cars, those, I don't even know what you call them. You would know, Andy. Well, the little cars that the people drive in the mud.
The midgets.
Well, they're not midgets. These are like,
sprint cars?
I don't know. Anyway, maybe sprint cars. Noisy cars. So if you think you're going to get any sleep in the morning, they come, they drive, and so it was just like not relaxing. Well, then we got into the Camping World experience, and it's like, you do this to relax, right? And this was not relaxing. That's why I'm a little out of sorts today. I tell you, it was 3 days of and no sleep. I said to Ellen this morning, I'm brushing my teeth. I said, I don't think I brushed my teeth the whole time I was gone. I mean, we barely ate. We were just, doing all this maintenance and moving around. And anyway, I was watching this whole process, just observing it. And I was noticing that the staff, they were all overworked. I mean, and they have like hundreds of people that work there. It's insane. And you could just tell they were just like this. They were on the edge. And this one fellow that was helping us, he had a bit of an attitude. And I had to be nice. And our friends who came up to visit, they said, "You don't like that guy." and after, but I'd been working with this guy now for a day and a half, and I said, "No, he's really not so bad." I said, I really have compassion for his stress. I can only imagine what he's going through. Well, the reason I even bring this up is it's like, wow, what have we become? Camping World, it's like, get a camper and go, see America, and to see the people working there under that stress and duress. And it's constant, and his phone would be going all day long, beep, beep, beep. And it was sad. The whole thing really didn't set well with me. And anyway, I was like, that's not a recipe for longevity like this gentleman I'm talking of here, for sure. Because, they're grabbing fast food when they can get it, they're sucking down the coffee, you can only imagine. So I was noticing this and saying, something's got to give here. And that's just a microcosm of so much of what's happened culturally around the world. And I'm saying, if we're aiming for that 250-year goal, it ain't going to happen with that type of lifestyle and living at all. And I love it says, what was his secret to longevity? And his reply was, keep a quiet heart, sit like a tortoise, walk sprightly like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog. And it's like, and I love this, keep a quiet heart. And there weren't too many quiet hearts at Camping World, I can tell you that. And I won't go into it anymore. But it says that he maintained that inward calm and peace of mind combined with breathing techniques, which is so important, getting the transformational breath work, the breath and the meditation, oxygenating our cells. He said that he believed that was a secret to his longevity. It says that, here, this article goes on to say that here our average lifespan, we think we're doing good, 85 years old. That's not average, it's actually 70 to 85. But you think my parents recently passed at 92 and 87. And people, wow, that's a long life. And yeah, it was a wonderful life. But then you think, well, wow, 200 years old. So that would be a nice thing, huh? But I think we have to get off of this. Now, how many people, I'm going to digress here. I heard you say, okay, now we've been programmed, okay? Now this is just, I recognize this, okay? So we've been programmed to say, oh, why would I want to live? I mean, I'd never have enough money. I couldn't do that. Well, we're buying into the whole idea that, you work, you retire, you get your pension or your savings or whatever, and then, we're so, not this group, but so many people in society are so attached to their drugs and there is a place for pharmaceuticals, don't get me wrong, and doctors and all of this. So we're programmed to only really live to be about 85 years old. But what if, wouldn't it be kind of interesting to go that 200 years if we were having babies, well not that, but if you wanted to have babies, you could have babies, okay? And then you could walk in nature, and you could have wonderful friends, and your heart would be quiet, and you'd be joyful. You might change your mind. I think that people are like, no. Based on this society, it's stressful to be on this planet. It really is. So I really understanding and seeking a more simple way of being. I just think it's so important. And pay attention, get in nature more, breathe more, relax. We don't have to work 7 days a week, day and night, that's insane. But it's up to us to be the ones to make those decisions. Because it really is, I think that what this all comes down to, and with the Eastern philosophy, is the yin and the yang, okay? You know the symbol, right? The black and the white swirls here. Well, those symbolize balance, okay? And it says that this means that it describes how seemingly opposite, contrary forces may actually be complementary, interconnected and interdependent in the natural world, and how they give rise to each other as they interrelate to one another. So it's about that balance of what we talk about, the masculine and the feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine. It's about coming to that and finding a way to not only balance our masculine and feminine energies, because we get into this whole idea that we're so programmed. God is usually in the Bible, in the Course in Miracles, in many great spiritual teachings. God is what? Man. A man. And that, I have to say, thankfully that never charged me up, because but some people, and I get it, I'm not saying that, just because it didn't charge me, I'm not saying that it's not a good thing or a bad thing. But I do think that if we get back to the reality of God wasn't a man, he wasn't a woman, he was a spirit. And that's what we are. We're so busy with this body identification, of man and woman and what have you, and now we're getting, all other sorts of transgender, and things are coming up because people, I think at some level, all of these things are happening on the physical form, because people are like, well, I'm not comfortable being a woman, or I'm not comfortable being a man, and it's not that. I mean, maybe that identification, yes, but it's like, we're neither, we're none of that. So I think that it's time that we understand and come back to that balance of our masculine and our feminine energies. And of course, neutrality for me is so important. And I think that that's where peace lies. That's where that balance lies. That means that I'm not going to I'm going to be able to ride the storm of life, and no matter what happens, I don't have to have those peaks and valleys anymore. And it's just sort of riding it like a wave and just watching the show, but not getting emotionally invested. Neutrality. And that, to me, is really the key to inner peace. But we have to stop attaching meaning to everything and the way we think it should be. That's when we get all upset, because I wanted it to be this way and it's not, and now I'm upset. No. It's really about acceptance and knowing that we are eternal beings. We're spirits. We're not bodies. And I think that it all, like I said a few minutes ago, comes down to this programming, this brainwashing of society. We're being programmed to live X amount of years. You're going to run out of money at this time. You're going to have to start taking these meds at this time, and you're going to have this experience. And so we're falling into that program, and then we're getting into this cycle of stress and fear. So go inside, get our hearts to be quiet and still, and know that we are balanced. We're yin and yang. It's time for us to balance the masculine and feminine principles within our belief systems. That's really what I'm talking about. Our religious doctrines, of course, and cultures, and within ourselves. And I would have to say, just like Mary's prayer said, deliver me, all healing comes from within me and within each and every one of you. That's where we have to start. So once we get in tune with this, then we become more conscious and aware and sensitive. And I don't think, I notice that the more still and quiet I become, although I think my emotions are much more balanced than they were in the past. I know they are. I find that environment was very offensive, and it was very jarring to be in that environment. See, I think we find ourselves less and less interested in all that energy, that charge. And you just want to be still and quiet and have fun. And I think that's why we like to come here. It's relaxed, it's not rigid, it's just a nice, comfortable place to be. So it's about really, the Dalai Lama said that the Western woman is going to be who saves the world. And I don't even know if he meant the actual female woman, physical woman, or the divine feminine energy. Either way, if he meant whatever he meant, I think that it's really important for us. That pendulum is starting to swing back, okay? And we're realizing that we've gotten so external and so just agitated almost. And it's about coming back to that place of peace, that feminine energy, that balance, that understanding that, just so we're working so hard that more and more convenience or fast food restaurants open up because we don't have time to cook, and you just get in this whole cycle. When you really look at it, it's all insane, what we've fallen into. But the good news is we do have the ability to come back and be still and come from our heart. This upcoming eclipse, we are going to have an outing. We're working on a few different ideas of where to go. We haven't destined that yet, but we're going somewhere. And I've got the glasses. They came in, so don't worry about that. And I got 15 pairs. If we need more, we'll go. But really, I've been reading up on this eclipse, and it's very exciting. We haven't had one in this country, and I think it's very weird and interesting. It's going to sweep from the western part of the United States all the way across, right here. It's pretty crazy. I mean, we're going to be like Brevard and Greenville we're going to see the complete total eclipse, which is, I've never experienced that. 99 years, I think it's been, they said. So there's definitely, I always think that there's something metaphysical, beyond the physical happening here, and I think that this is an opportunity. Now, one of our friends sent us an email, hey, you might not want to go out in that eclipse, the energy's going to be so powerful it'll knock you down, and pretty much, I'm like, no man, I'm putting my glasses on. Okay. And, but it's, it will be, I think, a big, powerful ball of energy of some sort. But I'm looking at this, I like to find a positive meaning in this. And I was reading it's a reset. And maybe this is the reset we've all been waiting for. I really look at this as an opportunity to reset my batteries, my way of being. It's just like, okay, 21st of August, time to reset, reclaim the values that are meaningful to me. As a world government and as in the United States of America, I think maybe we're going to be forced to reset in some way. And that's not a bad thing, because what's that reset? It's putting us back into balance. We've been so ego-driven, so male-oriented. And of course, I shouldn't, really don't even need to say this. When I say male-oriented, I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about the masculine energy. So it's time to reset, get in balance, pendulum swings back. And so I'm excited about this. So if you do want to join us on that adventure, I think it hits here around 2:30 or something. We're probably going to pack a lunch, take a ride somewhere, and hang out for a few hours, because I hear it's going to be packed everywhere. So it's going to be fun. So definitely let me know. Yes?
Just a little thought that came through here. Grandmother Moon, feminine, is eclipsing grandfather Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I like that. There you go.
And I'm going to make it a goal to be here for the next one.
Okay. Now that we know the secret, we'll all be here for that one. So there you go. There's no excuse. We're going to be here. Now you know what to do. Tender heart. Okay, so anyway, just in wrapping things up here, I think this surmises everything I wanted to say about balance very nicely. Some days you eat salads and do yoga, and some days you eat cupcakes and refuse to put on pants. They're all balance. Unfortunately, I have more than